Hello, welcome guys. Nice to see you both. Hope you're all doing well, and nice to see everyone watching. We are excited to chat all about CFM tips today. So we're going to be talking about the new set of labs guides. You guys are going to explain about how you can optimize. And before I forget, I need to remind everyone, at the end of every episode, we have Richard, who is going to be summarizing points from the episode so that you guys can see kind of what we were talking about, so you could, if you want to remember any of the points. So make sure to stick around till the end to watch that. But how are you guys doing? Judith, how's your day going?
Hi, Steph. Thanks for having us here. Actually, it's the end of the day for us, so it's good. The weekend is starting.
Oh, I love it. That's the weekend is starting. Wait, what day is it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thursday
It's
for
Thursday,
us.
so yeah.
Oh, of course. Oh, fair enough. I was like, hang on a second, am I streaming on the wrong day? The slight panic. Anyways, all right, let's get into it. So welcome everyone to the Keys to AWS Optimization, the show where we share stories, concepts, and solutions to help you unlock your spend at AWS. My name is Steph Gooch, and I'm a senior optimization advocate. And today we're going to be talking about CFM tips, so ways for you to save money, which I'm super excited to get into. One thing before we start the actual content of the episode, I just wanted to highlight, I think we chatted in here before about this, but we are on Spotify now. So if you are listening to us on YouTube or watching us on YouTube, then that is great. But you can also check us out on Spotify. So if you are working online and want to listen, or if you are wanting to just listen on a walk, which is what I did the other day, I listened to my own episode to learn something, then you can do that. So make sure you check that out. But let's get into it. So let's do our 1 minute origin story for my lovely guest. Judith, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone, my name is Judith Lehner. I'm a senior technical account manager based in Israel. I'm also part of the Cloud Intelligence Dashboards group and also leading the CFM tips.
Nice. Shaka?
Yeah, hi, I'm Shaked Holtzman. I'm a technical account manager, also based in Israel. And I'm not part of the cloud operations group, but I'm helping to my amazing customers with their cloud journey and cost optimization activities.
Amazing. And there's some comments in the chat. Welcome people watching live. Got hey, Tinian from Dublin, loving it. I know that this guy's in Dublin too. So loving to see some listeners. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Sometimes we get some Americans, sometimes we get Europeans, so feel free to comment. So talking about optimization. So let's get into what we're actually talking about. What is this subject today? Do you guys want to give us a kind of high level view of what is this cloud financial management tips and where can people start with it?
Sure. So Cloud Financial Management Technical Implementation Playbooks, or you can call it shortly CFM tips, is a self-service workshop that is built to help you implementing cost optimization activities in your organization, basically FinOps practices. And in this workshop, we provide you with technical actions that you can take, and you can start working in optimizing different services. We also provide information about how you can visualize your cost, your spend and usage in AWS, as well as how to monitor your cost and, of course, how to control it.
Amazing. Hitting on some key buzzwords right from the start: optimization, visualization. Love it. So where did this come about from? Judith, I don't know if you want to go for that one.
Yeah, so we started working on this 2 years ago almost. And the idea was to create one place that will hold all the cost optimization best practices that we as technical account managers found when working with our customers. So we just want to have one place that can guide us and our customers.
Great. So these are all stories from real customers or techniques that customers have actually used, which, I don't know about you, makes it so much more real. And I'm sure when you look at the website, and we're going to demo the website in a bit, you can actually see that in a lot of the things. I often feel that when you are creating content or guides, sometimes you can tell when it's a bit more theoretical, and sometimes you can tell when it's a bit more lived in. So before we jump into the demo, who are the target audience for these kind of optimizations?
So I think that many different people can benefit from CFM tips, but I think the ones that will benefit the most will be FinOps practitioners, DevOps engineers, and cloud architects.
Nice. So it covers like a nice range of people that can over this. So if you're watching it and you're any of those roles, you can go and check out the site, and we'll pop up the link to the site in a second. So last question. When should they start using this? Is this like a preemptive stuff? Is it as you're deploying? When do you guys recommend people start checking out this site?
So that's a great question that we are being asked several times. And we say when you start your cloud journey, you should go over the different pillars and learn how you can benefit from it. But even a customer that is very mature in the cloud, they can use the CFM tips to optimize a specific service or specific areas that they want to focus on.
Amazing. Right. Let's stop delay. Let's actually dive into it. And there's the link so you can go and check it out below. Let's do a demo of what this thing looks like. And it's a similar format, just to throw back to an episode we did about Microsoft optimization 2 weeks ago. Similar kind of format with these guides to help you. And we're doing a lot of these sessions at the moment because there are so many questions we get asked from customers about how they can optimize. And rather than it be a one-on-one basis, like these guys have said, we want to educate as many customers as possible. And so that's why we're creating and highlighting these. So let's have a look. All right. Do you want to take us through what we've got here then?
Yeah, sure. So let's go over the different pillars that we have. So when you will open the link that we shared, you will get to the homepage. And here we are explaining what is CFM tips, how it connects with cloud financial management. And in general, it's the technical implementation of the CFM different concepts. And in CFM tips, we have 4 pillars, and we will go over them. So the first one is a cultural change. And under cultural change, we talk about how you connect between the finance and the FinOps with the engineering team in order to create a more cost-aware culture inside the organization. And we are using the well-architected framework best practices in order to find the right places in order to create this environment. So that's the first step when you start talking about cost optimization and creating a cost-aware culture. After that, we will go into foundations. And foundation talks about all the basic guardrails that you need to put. Yeah, that you need to put when you start talking about cost optimization. So we are talking about setting up budgets in order to control and monitor your cost, how you should use cost anomaly monitors to identify anomalies and spikes, and how important is to use tagging strategy to get better visibility into your different environment, different projects. And we also share how you can use trusted advisor, cost optimization recommendations in order to identify idle resources or underutilized resources. And lastly, we will explain how to enable Compute Optimizer because we will use it later on in the playbooks pillar.
So before we move on to our next pillar, so in these ones, in the well architecture, the links on the right-hand side, do they take you to documentation about these concepts, or are these ones that you use with like the guidance of Workshop Studio?
So it will take you to the white papers of the well architected, all the concepts and what's the best practice to do that. And if we want to give just one example, so if I'll go into set up budgets, then we can see, we explain which tool we have today. So we have the AWS budgets, and we explain which kind of budgets you should define. So we recommend to define all services budgets, a monthly budget and a daily budget. And we also show in a video how you can do it step by step, because maybe you are not familiar with that.
Okay. And do you know what? I'm going to quickly throw a poll up just before we dive into the next bit, because I'm intrigued to know if people have heard of Workshop Studio before we because we haven't really covered what this is. So in the chat, if you have heard of Workshop Studio, 1 for yes, 2 for no, let us know. Just because I feel like this is a really useful place to get guidance, and I don't actually know if many customers have heard of it. People are okay, got some 2s in, got some 1s, bit of a mix. I think all the people who I know who work at Amazon probably do know what it is, but the people outside don't, which is interesting. Okay, more people know than I thought, which is great. I'm glad those people know. All right, sorry, let's go back to the demo. So now it is. So continuing on with foundation. So we've done the culture. We understand kind of some best practices around that topic area, and then some foundations, which is kind of making yourself your setup for success and enabling stuff. Let's go on to the next one. So visualizations.
Yeah. So visualizations will focus on visibility into the AWS cost and usage. So the first tools that we will use is Cost Explorer. It's the first place that you will go when you want to start understanding your cost and usage. But we also have the cost and usage report, which is the most granular report that will give you information about a specific resource and hourly granularity. And lastly, the data export that was released at reInvent, which is a cost and usage report, the new version that also have integration with QuickSight and creates a dashboard that gives you visibility. So it's a very cool new feature that was released. And the last one here is one of my favorites, Cloud Intelligent Dashboards, which holds a group of dashboards that was created also by technical account managers. And the idea was to create better visibility into different usage and environments in AWS. And you will see when we go into the playbooks how we use the Cloud Intelligent Dashboard in order to get visibility into different cost and usage.
Awesome. And there's always a bit of a running gag in this show about how early in the show we mentioned the dashboard. So always good to have a nod here. And what was I going to say? Oh, in case anybody's joined kind of in between, we're talking all about the new CFM tips. If you have any questions, comments, guys, put them in the chat. If you have any specific questions about optimization, maybe we could even show you in here where you could find an optimization recommendation for a service of your choice. Okay, so we've got all of our data. What's next?
Okay, so next one that I really want to highlight is the playbooks pillar. And the playbooks pillar, when I stayed on this link, we can see the full list of playbooks, meaning the full list of services that we cover today. We have more than 30 services that we cover today, and it's a technical playbook. So you can see the different domains. On every domain, we have different playbooks. So under database, you can see all the different playbooks that we have. I will take, for example, RDS. And for every playbook, we have several topics. And it will always start with general spend. I will show it shortly. So we always want to start with how you can identify the spend of a specific service. So that's why we always start with general spend. And then we will go into different topics, but we try to keep a top-down approach, meaning we will try to reduce idle resources, reducing the waste, optimizing the different resources, and at the end, we will talk about commitment plans where it's relevant. So on RDS, for example, we are talking about how to identify idle instances, how you can move to Graviton, do right sizing to your instances, maybe use instance scheduling in order to stop your development environment when you don't need them, and then optimize storage and backups. So that's the full playbook, and we encourage you to use it step by step. Mm-hmm. So I will show an example. Okay. Steph, any question?
Yeah, before you do, as I say, we have a question, which is, can people submit suggestions for new playbooks?
Yeah, we are looking for that suggestion. You can see our email here. So we are looking for the feedback. We have a feedback here that will be a form that you can fill, or just email us and let us know what you think. If you think that we're missing important playbooks or important topics that you want to get information about, we would love to hear it.
Awesome. All right, we'll pop the link to the email below. Love that. We've also had love how verbose the content is for the various playbooks. Agreed. I love the order. It's very structured. So if you're new and you're thinking like, I've seen the RDS is high in my spend, what do? I do like this idea that it's kind of guided, and also the estimate, because I think sometimes we take for granted maybe in our FinOps world that it's very easy to, I think, oh, of course, these are the things. But if you're newer to the cloud, you might not realize. That is the email below if you guys want to get in touch. And make sure to mention that you saw us on Keys. That's how we want to know if you have any feedback or ideas around the playbook. So yeah, continue, go for it into your example.
Yeah, so I just want to highlight what you said. It's very important. We really try to keep it simple. The idea behind the different playbooks to keep it short, actionable, and simple as much as possible. Okay, so let's talk about general spend. So on every topic, we will have the overview that explain about the specific topic. Here it's just a general spend for RDS, but then how you can identify it with the different tools. So here is how you can identify it with Kudos dashboard. So we explain which tab you need to go into and which filter you need to do on the appropriate place. And then what is the name of the visuals that you should look for in order to get visibility into RDS cost by a product family. So this is how you get visibility with Kudos, but we also explain how you can get visibility with Cost Explorer, which filters you need to put in order to get this specific visibility. So this is very important part that we have in every topic. So this is one example.
Just before we move on to the visibility part, I was going to say, Shaka, when you're working with customers, do you often see them ask these kind of questions about which tool can I see things in? Do they often look for this kind of guidance?
Yeah, so Cost Explorer is great, but sometimes we are looking into more depth information that we can only get with CUR or with Kudos. So of course, we recommend to use it. And I think with CFM tips, to understand all the options you have to view your spend and usage on AWS, it's a great place to start identifying your cost. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. So we've seen the cost. Then where do people go?
Okay. So they can continue with the different topics. I will show another example that is interesting. So this specific topic is not just how to get the visibility, but also how to get the guidance to optimize this specific usage. So when we are talking about Graviton for RDS, so Graviton is an ARM-based processor that will give you a better price performance. And we are explaining here in the overview what is Graviton 2, about the different instances that we have in Graviton 2, the different instances we have in Graviton 3, and which versions of RDS support this kind of instances. That's really the basic things that you start thinking, should I move to Graviton? Well, I need to find out if my version support it. That's the first thing you need to do. But after that, after you understand what is Graviton, then how you can identify on Kudos which workload you can move into Graviton. So you get this visibility with this specific visual on Kudos. But we also explain how you can do it by using the Cost Explorer, which filters you need to put in order to understand if your workload is fit for moving into Graviton. And on every topic, we will also put some guidance, which is a best practice, how you can optimize it. And we try to keep it short and actionable.
Awesome. We just had a question in the chat, so I'm going to throw this one up. I think this is going to be, so it's kind of on the topic, but it's more about the actual things you're showing on the screen. So let me take this down so it's a bit easier to read. So is there some sample CUR data in your workshop? As this is a great demo. From what I know, it's not possible to have the sample data in Cost Explorer. The question is, how are you able to have screenshots or examples from the content from CFM? So I can kind of jump in first, but then if you guys want to add anything, from what I understand, what we've done to make the Kudos dashboards demo available is we have made kind of fake data. So that could be people spinning up stuff in their accounts to kind of create this. And then we've aggregated it together and then used it to make the dashboard. So and shout out to, I think, Yuri and the guys for doing a lot of this work. I sometimes use that example data. So there's not one that Amazon has on offer that I believe, because we kind of want you to look at your own accounts rather than use a demo. But that's kind of where it comes from. I don't think you can create any kind of demo Cost Explorer. But maybe a follow-up question to this person is, what do you want to demo? Like, what are you looking to do with this information? But have you guys got any other things you want to say about this question?
Yeah, so I can share that for Kudu specifically for the different dashboards, we have a demo link that people can play with it. But for Cost Explorer, it's a challenge, and we have something, but it's internal.
There we go. So yeah, so maybe throwback question, let me know. Or also, if anybody else has any questions or wants a more detailed conversation, feel free to email us at costoptimization@amazon.com. But yeah, kind of, are you doing internal demos at work and you want to do something? Then yeah, check out the Cloud Intelligence dashboard for that. But to continue on, sorry, there you go, back onto the guidance.
Yeah, so that was another example how you can just pick a specific topic if you want to move to Graviton as an example and go over the guide over here.
Perfect. So let's get into so maybe I'd love to know with these kind of things, what is your favorite kind of optimization recommendation in here? Because this is what we asked the guys doing the Microsoft session. Everyone has a favorite optimization trick or something they have, and I can even share one of mine. So yeah, Judith, what's your favorite optimization recommendation in here?
So my favorite is RDS charge backup. It's something that we learned that customers are not aware all the time. So basically, when you provision an instance, then you get the same amount of backup storage without additional pricing. But if you save more data, then you will start paying for that. So customers are not aware of it. So we created this playbook to explain about it, how they can identify it with Cost Explorer, how they can search for charge backup and see if they have any of these specific charges, and then how they can optimize it and moving it maybe to S3 or just delete snapshots that they don't need. So this is my favorite ones.
So it's I don't know this one. I love learning new things. So this one is more around if you have, sorry, just to confirm, you have an RDS and it will automatically start taking backups and you're paying for those? Is that what you mean?
No, this is for the manual. This is from creating manual snapshots that you don't delete.
Okay. Classic. The snapshot's getting it, the same as an EBS.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Shakir, what about yours?
Yeah, so for me, it's in CloudWatch. So Judith, maybe you can show it as well. So in CloudWatch logs specifically, so lots of people are not aware that with CloudWatch by default, logs kept for unlimited time. And the most basic thing that you would want to do is to set retention to your logs. It's very straightforward yet easy to miss. So this is why this is my favorite. So like in other playbooks that we've seen, we have the information about how to identify this usage and cost, and then explanation about the log retention. So it's very simple, but most of the customers are not aware that their logs are just kept indefinitely. So the costs are keeping on growing.
Yeah. The CloudWatch is, as many people on the show who watch know, I love to talk about CloudWatch optimization. There's some great episodes on the YouTube channel to go and check out to see more about them. And also there's a new log tier. So if you do want to keep the logs but don't necessarily want to keep them, you do want to keep them forever but you don't want to pay as much, you could check out the new log tier. I think maybe we need to add that as an extra thing in here. Always love adding new ones. I would also like to shout out one that I like, and I love an idle resource that you can get rid of. My question, do you need that, is always common. So in the networking, I believe you guys have got idle NAT gateways. Is that in there?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, I know.
Here it is.
This was something I always find fascinating, especially because the way you identify it in Kudos is just clever. So when you're paying for it, and please guys correct me if I've missed anything, you're paying for like a kind of deployment charge that's like a running once a month, and then you also pay for the data. And if there's no data, it looks like you're not using it. And so that's how we identify that it's idle. This is done for a few different services in a similar way, but I just love this very like clever way of using the cost and usage report to identify this kind of thing, because because it's the same. You can do the similar kind of things with workspaces, where you can look for where you're paying for the workspace but not actually using it. So it gives you lots of ways to find new ways to delete resources that you no longer need. Okay,
Exactly.
Is there anything else you want to highlight in the workshop studio before we close out on this demo?
I think there are several common use cases, maybe just that we wanted to explain that customers are using. So first of all is in EBS, so the migration from GP2 to GP3. So this is one of the first steps that customers will take in their cloud optimization journey in AWS. So GP3 are the latest generation of general purpose SSD based EBS volumes, and we give information about the migration. We explain how to find the relevant usage and costs, and of course we provide guidance like we saw previously. And in the guidance, we reference to other external resources, if it's blogs or if it's documentation, because like Judith mentioned at the beginning, the goal of CFM Tips is to consolidate the cost optimization activities that you can perform in AWS in one place. So it's like a one-stop shop for AWS cost optimization activities, but we still want to use existing resources, whether it's other workshops or blogs or documentation. So we reference them in our workshop after providing a short explanation about the process and what customers need to do in order to optimize.
Awesome. I wonder, it would be interesting, maybe just for us offline, to know if you have which tabs are getting access the most, because it would be interesting to learn. And let me know, guys, because maybe that shows a demand and we can do an episode on the top subjects that are coming up. Right, with the last 2 minutes, I just want to do a quick one last poll. So I'm curious. We did a goal setting session last week with John, and I want to know, do you guys out there have a goal to save money at the moment? Because this constantly changes whether people do. So 1 for yes, 2 for no. If you have a goal in your organization to save money, because it seems like sometimes it is a big thing and sometimes it's more about setting up. So people commenting 1, okay, good. It's still a common challenge that people are kind of looking out for, which is good. I just wanted to just sense check. Someone's put like 10 ones in that they definitely trying to optimize. Okay, awesome. Okay, good to know. Oh, someone said no. Okay, well, good. Maybe they're setting up a FinOps strategy. Okay, with that, we will get ready to do our summary. So Richard can bring up his final summary of the tips. But I just want to say thank you so much for sharing, guys. So cool. I hope everyone goes and uses this demo, that site, to kind of learn more about optimization. Okay, so our episode summary: CFM Tips is a one-stop shop for optimization. Yes, it is. Covers 4 pillars: culture foundation, visualizations, and playbook. Simple and actionable guides for all users, even me. Now, Richard knows I read this out, so that's for me. It's either for him or it's me, but he could say anything and I just read these things out. So that's brilliant. Okay, that is it from us. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Keysavers Optimization. We hope you enjoy it. Next week, we're going to be talking about the brand new Google dashboard for the CID dashboards, which is super exciting. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you all next time. Thanks. Bye.